This is episode 2 of my health journey. I will cover why I'm doing this and some baseline numbers. I'll still be making bacteria testing and cleaning videos while on this journey. Timestamps in the description if you want to jump around. This is not medical advice. This is just me documenting my own health journey. So where do I begin? This is episode 2. In episode 1, that was a really short video where I just told my viewers that I was going to start a separate playlist with this health journey giving measurable data points. Now this is episode 2, so I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this and give you some of my baseline numbers. First off, my why. Why am I even on this health journey? When my family member had the medical emergency in September, a lot of things changed for me. I stopped exercising, I wasn't sleeping well, I started to eat a lot of comfort foods, I felt yucky, sluggish, slow, I really just wasn't feeling good, but I kept pushing through, right, because I had to take care of them, and then also my son had to have surgery, so I had to shift gears to taking care of him, and there's just a lot of things going on in my life. After about 7 or 8 months of living like that, not exercising and eating really just not good food, I had my yearly appointment with my PCP, and my blood results reflected this unhealthy lifestyle that I was living. Now, I'm not a huge fan of looking at a subset of numbers and saying you're healthy, you're not healthy based on numbers. But numbers are something that I can measure, numbers are things that I can report, and data is something that shows a story. So the blood result that really got my attention was my LDL cholesterol. In May of 2025, so a year ago, it was 104. May of 2026, it jumped to 151. So that number, combined with me feeling not good, feeling sluggish, feeling out of breath, really gave me a wake-up call to just do something to change so I can get healthier again. Now, I know I'm not getting any younger here, okay? I'm 48 years old, and I want to enter my 50s feeling good, being healthy and strong. Now, cholesterol is not the entire story, and there's a lot of controversy about cholesterol, what's good, what's bad. I'm not going to get into all that. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that explain cholesterol. What I do want to point out is this, that LDL number is not the only thing that I need to concentrate on, okay? Cholesterol is actually a part of your life. Your body produces cholesterol. You need cholesterol in your body in order to produce hormones, in order to absorb some vitamins, and also for your brain health. So cholesterol is not like the enemy here. There's a lot of things that contributed to me not feeling well. So that's why I'm doing this. I want to feel better. I want to feel stronger. I want to sleep better. And I want to not be winded when I walk up and down the stairs. So that leads me to part 2. What am I going to be documenting during this series? So as I make some health adjustments in my life, as I start exercising more and start adjusting my diet, these are the things that I can measure. My blood work, body measurements, Garmin fitness data, that'll be things like sleep, resting heart rate variability, and anything else that my Garmin can tell me. What I'm eating, my exercise routine, and how I'm actually feeling. So let's begin looking at some baseline numbers. I'm a rather petite person. I'm like 5'2", 5'3", and even though I don't like looking at BMI and numbers to give a general picture of health, I'm going to share with you my historical data of my BMI. I felt my best when my BMI was between 20 and 21. I felt strong, I felt healthy, I felt good. So you can see over the years my BMI has gone up, and now it's at 23.2. Now I know that BMI is not considered bad, but it's a metric, it's a data point, it's something that's measurable that I can share throughout this journey. Now let's have a look at some of my past cholesterol blood work. So you can see here it's 3 years of blood work that I have, 2024, 2025, and 2026. My LDL has consistently climbed from 101.7 to 103.9, which is absolutely fine, but then it's skyrocketed up to 151. So that data point is just something, again, that I can track as I make some lifestyle changes. The next set of data points are going to come from my Garmin. Now, I just purchased this Garmin Forerunner 70. Big thank you from some of my Patreon members who Venmoed me the money so that I could purchase this. They want to remain anonymous, but I want to make sure you hear me say thank you because I really do appreciate this. Now, I've only had this for a few days, but let's go over some of the things that this will be able to track. And I'll tell you my baseline numbers where I am right now. The Garmin Forerunner 70 has a lot of different metrics that it's measuring. I don't even know everything yet, but just at a first glance, let's take a look at what I've got so far for a few days. So first it has like a sleep score, which has been 81, a body battery, steps, tracking nutrition, which I'm not going to do with this. I'm going to use my Fitness Pal. And then it has a section here that's at a glance, where you can look at your heart rate, intensity of minutes working out, calories burned, stress, and challenges. I don't have any challenges yet because I'm just getting started. Let's take a look at here at a glance. You can look at a glance at where you're at. Let's take a look at these in a little more detail. So zooming in on my heart rate, we can see my resting heart rates between 72 and 61, and the highest my heart rate went was, I think, 133. My fitness age, it gives me 46.5 as my fitness age just from the information that I plugged into it, but it does say I can reduce my fitness age 3 years. So I'm going to try that. Here's just a graphic of the steps I've done. And then here's actually the outline of the steps that I've done while wearing the Garmin. My sleep score so far is between 81 and 82. Tuesday and Wednesday I actually had to take a muscle relaxer for my shoulder, so this isn't entirely accurate for sleeping without any assistance. My heart rate variability, well, this is kind of low. It's going between 21 and 27. But I'm hoping this will change as time goes on. I think the biggest takeaway that I've gotten in just these first few days of using my Garmin watch is the heart rate variability. Now, I was really unaware of what this even was, so I actually was looking it up, and it seems to be a really important indicator for health. So when I looked it up, it says the heart rate variability, so HRV, is a measure of the variation in time between consecutive heartbeats. Okay, so I'm going to just scroll down some more. The HRV reflects the activity of your body's autonomic nervous system, which controls functions like heart rate, breathing, and digestion. Okay. Higher HRV generally indicates a greater adaptability and recovery capacity. It's often associated with good cardiovascular fitness, lower stress, and adequate rest. Lower HRV, where I am, right, I'm on the lower end here, can occur with stress, illness, fatigue, overtraining, I'm not overtraining, poor sleep, dehydration, or certain medical conditions. So I think this is a number that I hope to see a change in. Next, I measured my physical body using my scale, a body scanning app, and a measuring tape. And let me say, that body scanning app is a little humbling. Have a look at that.
Stand with your whole body in frame and match this pose. Green is good. Any red means you are not fully in the frame yet. Put both hands a bit further from your body. Widen your stance. Great. Hold your pose. Your scan is complete.
So I have the measurements here from that scanning app, but I'm going to confirm the results by using a manual tape measure. Now this tape measure has an app where you can Bluetooth the results to it, but when I've tested it out already, it seems to not save them all the time. So I'm going to just write down all my measurements and then compare them to the app. First, let's look at the body scan app. So you can see this app makes a 3D scan of your body. Let's compare the measurements from my scale and measuring tape to that of the body scan app. I conducted both measurements on June 1st. I highlighted in the yellow color any discrepancy that was a large amount. The first was percent body fat. My scale measured that at 23.9%, but the app said it was 34.2%, so I'm not certain which one it is. But I'll keep measuring in both styles as I continue the journey. So the measurements of BMI, my neck, my shoulder, chest, right and left bicep, all are within the same amount of each other, and more discrepancies for the waist. Now, this might just be because I put my tape measure higher or lower than where the body scan app measures, so we'll just keep comparing both measurements for my waist, abdomen, hips, right thigh, and left thigh. So when I do an update, I will compare the scale and the tape measure from this day to the scale and the tape measure of the day that I measure from. And same with the body scan app. I will compare from June 1st to whatever date it is that I'm going to be comparing. Next, let's get a baseline of my blood pressure. Another data point that I can measure is blood pressure. Now, my blood pressure historically has been on the low side. And having a lower or normal blood pressure is not always an indication of health, okay? But it's just another data point that I can measure. And I'd be curious to see, does my blood pressure go up? Does it go down throughout this whole? It's just another data point that I can measure. So I do have this wrist blood pressure cuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, while I'm sitting here, I'm going to take a measurement. Then I'm just going to run down and up my stairs to just see if my blood pressure changes. I don't know if it's going to. We'll see. I expect my heart rate maybe will change a bit. I don't know. And I will then take a look at the heart rate measurement and compare the heart rate measurement to my Garmin. Be interesting to see if they're similar or if they're really far off. So now I'm just going to take a blood pressure measurement.
Please remain seated and refrain from talking during measurement, and keep cuff at the heart level. Your blood pressure is systolic 100.
So that was 104/73. My heart rate's at 80. My heart rate's high, so I'm actually really hoping that I can bring my resting heart rate down with some diet and exercise. But anyway, let's compare the Garmin. So my Garmin says 81. So this guy said 80, this guy says 81. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm going to run up and down the stairs and see if I can get my blood pressure and my heart rate to go up a little bit.
Please remain seated and refrain from talking during measurement. Your blood pressure is systolic 110 millimeters.
Okay, so it went up to 110/74, and my heart rate went up to 87. Let's see what my Garmin says my heart rate right now. 87. Ooh, interesting. So here's the deal. Even though my blood pressure numbers are pretty low, right? They're a little actually lower than normal. It probably just indicates that my arteries aren't hardening, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean healthy, because I felt winded going up and down the stairs a couple of times, and I feel pathetic. I got winded going up and down the stairs. Now my heart rate didn't go up too high, went from 80 to 87. And I actually didn't sit and like really try to rest myself and calm myself before I did that initial reading. Maybe I should, to get a better like really truly rested number. So I'm gonna be doing all sorts of measurements throughout this journey, so blood pressure is just one more data point that I'm gonna be able to document. And the last baseline is going to be a fitness test. I did a series of fitness tests to just establish a baseline of what I can do. Have a look at that. Okay, so I'm going to do this cardiovascular fitness test. This is supposed to be a simple, beginner-friendly test. It is a 6-minute walk test. So what I'm supposed to do is walk as far as possible for 6 minutes and record the distance. So I think I can do the steps on my Garmin, my heart rate immediately after, and my recovery heart rate after 1 minute. All right, let's see if we can do this. Okay, the next fitness test I'm going to do is called the 3-minute step test. It says use a stair or aerobic step about 12 inches high. Now my stairs are only 7 or 8 inches high, but I figured if I just use it consistently, like I'm going to use it for this test and I'll use it for like later on, they'll be fine. Step up and down steadily for 3 minutes. Sit down immediately afterwards. So I'm going to do the heart rate immediately after I stop and then a minute after resting. Next, I'm going to do a sit and reach test. So I got some instructions from a YouTube video, and I'm going to see, I guess, how many inches I can stretch, either positive or negative, to where this like baseline is going to be. All right, let's just do this. Oh God. 7. 7. Next is a balance test where I'll be standing on one leg and seeing how long I can do that. Next, I'll do a chair sit to stand test where I'm supposed to cross my arms over my chest, stand fully and sit fully, and count how many times I do this in 30 seconds. Next is a sit-up test where I'm supposed to do as many sit-ups as I can in 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's an image that just shows the data all put together. I will have a more comprehensive way of visualizing the data when I'm comparing today's baseline to maybe 4 to 6 weeks of exercising and diet changes. So now that we have this baseline of where I'm at, what am I going to do to actually feel healthier? Well, the first thing I have to do is exercise. Now, I'm not a huge exercise guru kind of person. I'm just not. But I do enjoy my indoor bike. I like cycling indoors. I like walking. I don't mind yoga. And I do some pelvic floor exercises. So I just need to get more consistent in finding time in my day to get these done. And I'm hoping this sort of series will help me hold accountability. Plus, I do feel better when I exercise. I just have to get back into it. Now, I'm not going to be someone that says, I have to exercise 7 days a week. That's not going to happen. I know my life. I know my schedule. I know how things fit in with my life. I have to fit in my exercise in my life to make it something that I can sustain long term. I don't want this to be one of those things, for 30 days I'm going to do this, or for 90 days I'm going to do that, and then forget about it and go back to the way I was. That's not going to be helpful in the future for my health. I need to add it into my life so that it's sustainable long term. The second thing I'm going to change is my diet. I need to adjust my diet. I told you I started eating a lot of comfort foods. So I hadn't eaten dairy in a very long time, years and years. But I slipped dairy back into my diet. I find dairy to be very comforting. Cream cheese, cheese sticks, mac and cheese, and also in addition to cheese and dairy, muffins, brownies, baked goods, things like that, sugar. High sugar, soda. So I have a love-hate relationship with soda. I love Coke. I love Mountain Dew. Okay? I do. I always have since I was young. I like Coke. I like Mountain Dew. I said it. And I've gone through phases in my life where I've completely stopped it. And my friend Melinda actually helped me get off of Coke. She's a health coach, and she used to host these whole food gut cleanses. And I did a few of them, and I always felt really fantastic on them. But part of them is, you can't be drinking soda, and you have to decrease your sugar intake while you're doing these cleanses. And so she helped me, like a few weeks before the cleanse even started, get off soda by just saying, hey, you're going to start with a can of soda at lunch. And then the next day, you're only going to drink 3/4 of it. And the next day, you're only going to drink half of it. And the next day, you're going to drink half of it. And that helped me a lot. I have to do that again. So the ways I'm going to adjust my diet is increase my fiber intake, eat more whole foods, choose healthier fats, eat fewer processed foods, eat less saturated fat, and just eat a better consistency overall. I am going to use my FitnessPal app to document what I'm eating. I'll do the best I can to add to it every day. If I miss one, I miss one, but that'll help me see what I'm eating and what I'm not eating. So that's why I'm doing this, and those were my baseline numbers of where I'm starting. So in a few weeks or a few months, I'm not certain when I'll do episode 3, we'll be able to compare those baseline numbers to where I am at that point in my life. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate all my viewers for all the support you give me on my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, have yourselves a great day.